Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel for another video on Gran Turismo 7, and I am back with the latest track guide to earn you 2 million credits in-game as quickly as possible. And we are at Road Atlanta in the Group 1 cars this week with no setups, it's default setup. We're on racing medium tyres and it's actually quite a fun combo to drive in the Porsche Hybrid. Really nice car anyway. I do enjoy driving this car pretty much all the time. I like the way it feels. It's very enjoyable car on Gran Turismo. So I'm going to go through all the corners, the braking points, the gear selections for some of the exits to try and help you get this gold time as quickly as possible. It's just over a minute long to get the gold, and yeah, hopefully as many of you as possible can get the gold or the bronze, silver to get you 1 million credits. So to enter this, you're going to go into sport mode in the top right hand corner. Then you are going to go into the online time trial section. From here, you are going to go all the way over to Group 1, and you can actually see there I am the current world record holder. When I did this video, it won't be there for long, I do understand that, but still we achieved P1 in the world. And I predict that this lap is going to get down to a requirement of a 106.2 for the goal, because I've got another 3 attempts left in me, at least, maybe 4 attempts. So some of the really fast drivers are probably going to get this down to a 106 flat or around that area. So, sorry, a 104 flat. So pushing that down to 106.0 to 106.2, but we'll predict 106.2 for the gold. But you can see there, P1 in the world. You can load my ghost from the online leaderboard and chase it. So we're going to go into this lap and show you how to get this lap done. So going into turn 1, this is a very fast corner. You're going to go completely flat out almost. So watch what I do. I use a bit of the extra tarmac on the left, and then as we approach the end of that little bit of tarmac, you can see where the square is. We're going to lift off the throttle just there. What this is going to do, it's going to just alter the balance of the car to give you a bit more weight onto the front, which is going to give you a bit more grip, and then you can get back on that throttle and carry that speed all the way through the corner. You might notice I'm on kilometers now. I forgot to change it, but we'll do the chase camera lap in miles per hour. So then into this next corner, we're using the start of the curb. I use that as a reference of braking before that, and then again at the end of the curb, chucking this car into this blind corner. But it's a good reference at the end of the curb, chuck it into the blind corner, right hand tire over the curb, you can see there, and really get on that throttle nice and early. You can see attacking the throttle. Just be careful you don't go onto the grass there. And now this is completely flat. Now what I do here is just straighten it up as much as possible to let that hybrid kick in. When the car's in a straight line, the hybrid kicks in. When you're using inputs on the steering wheel, the hybrid won't kick in, so remember that. Now into this corner, this is a tricky one. I like to take the red line, using a bit of the grass on the right. Some people like to just use the curb. What it does though, you can see the red line gives you a better exit. It gets wider line, enabling you to get on the throttle a little bit early. So you can see onto the throttle nice and early now. And watch, I go into 5th gear very early here, because there is a bump on this exit. If you hit it in 4th gear, it just hits a limiter and just stalls the car massively, and you just lose so much speed down this straight. So nice and early into 5th gear will help you out on that corner. Next braking reference, I actually use the dotted white line as my reference. There is a 200 board you can use braking just before that, but I like to use the white line because that's where my eyes are focused for this right hand corner. Now when you're trail braking into this corner, you're going to get back onto that throttle super early. You can see back onto the throttle and actually accelerate onto the curb. Soon as your left hand tire touches that curb, you are getting straight onto the brakes and braking in a straight line. You're going to go down to 2nd gear and then rotate this car into this right hand corner. Now what we're going to do is we want to square it off and then get into 4th gear as early as possible. So trail brake up into 4th gear and then get that throttle down as early as you can. You can see I had a little bit of a snap on the rear there, maybe losing a 10th on acceleration all the way up this hill. So yeah, possibly a 10th gone just on that one corner alone. Now into the next braking zone, dotted white line again. That white line across the track, that is your braking reference, braking just before that. And again, you can really attack this left hand corner. I didn't attack it enough. Could have took a little bit more of the curb off, and you can see how it compromises me slightly as we come through. You can see the ghost is on a better line for attacking up the hill. So again, my line with the red line, you can see how I'm having to put the steering inputs in early. Upshift to 4th again though, really good for acceleration using the hybrid. But yeah, losing a 10th or so there at least. So at least 2 to 3 tenths lost so far on this lap, and over the line for a 1 minute 4.85, which is a solid lap. It's P1 when I did this lap. It won't be there for long. But we'll watch that lap now from the chase camera with miles per hour this time. So reversed it this week. It'll be back to normal next week, don't worry. So flat out almost in that corner. Now I could have took a bit more there. I actually did it about a 10th quicker on one go. So there is definitely more time available in this first sector. Pretty nice through there though. Got the curbs hooked up. And then through this section, it's all about using that little bit of grass, left hand tire onto the curb and accelerating through the corner. Quite generous amount of space left on the exit there. So there's definitely a 10th left for pushing the limits more through that corner. Now, I definitely think there's another tenth in this corner. You can see as I get into that throttle on 4th gear, the rear goes a little bit loose. You might think, oh, it's not much, but with the hybrid, if you lose traction, it loses you quite a lot of momentum. So there's probably at least a tenth, maybe more, by the time we get to the end of this straight. So it's quite important to try and get that traction out of that corner. But then again, into this braking zone and using that dotted white line, and you can really see how I could have attacked this a lot more. You can see only just going over the curb, could have took about another foot off that corner, and would have then given me a better line all the way up here to get that hybrid working better as we go over the line. So yeah, there's a little bit of you know, mistakes in that lap, but overall it's pretty solid, and hopefully this guide will help you out. Remember, do hit that like button if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully you lot can get gold as well, or even silver. Thanks again for watching, everyone.